Valley Club, Battle World, and No both coming next week. And now that we know the launch difficulty of Battle World, is there anything that you and your line should do to prep for it right now? We also have more Captain Britain events coming in November. How many shards will you be able to get during these events? And we also have a new store that's been data mined, a turkey store. Will this turkey store be better or worse than previous Thanos giving events? We're talking about all of these things and more in this Halloween edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Luckily, he was able to take a break from all the trick-or-treaters at his door, and MobileGamer is here on the news this week. And if you're in for all of these topics and more, then Brother Mobile, let him know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween, Valley Club. I am ValleyFlyin. This is MobileGamer, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. Usually more news videos, question and answer videos, all sorts of nice collabs. How have you been doing, MobileGamer? It has been a while since we've done a collab. I am glad you've been doing amazing.
Yeah. Busy, but things are good.
All right, how are you liking Strike Force? We haven't talked about this game in a little while.
I feel like the Thirst in Hunger event is an example of everything good and bad with Marvel Strike Force right now.
All right, I'm going to have you expand that in just a little bit as we get to that. But first thing I do want to cover, in case you didn't see it yesterday, Symbiote Smash is the code. Make sure you redeem your gift. You're going to get some of this stuff here, some ions.
Is it Symbiote Smash or is it Symbiote Smash?
Ooh, it's all caps, all caps. You decide, Valley Club. Let me know down in the comments which one you're going to enter. Enter 2 words. But yeah, either way, no matter what you enter, you're going to get this gift. You're going to get some ions. You're going to get this purple ISO 8. How is your purple ISO 8 progressing, Mobile?
I've been focusing all new characters post Ares. I mean, all the requirements that I have for Odin have been satisfied, and I think that's the primary use of purple right now is to get Odin, right? But after that, it's the new post Ares characters.
Yeah, just whatever characters you want to get a little bit more powerful after you've unlocked Odin. All right, but let's move forward with Battle World. Now, one of the big things that we knew about Battle World is that there's a bunch of different difficulties. There's actually 6 difficulties. There's the normal, and then difficulty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what you guys experienced on the test server was a very easy game mode, the normal difficulty, and you have to wait a week to get the next one. That wasn't a fun experience, right? And some of your feedback was to launch it earlier. And what they were going to do is start at difficulty 4, which means the next week you could go difficulty 5. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to have the normal difficulty on week 1. So this coming Monday, the 4th, we're going to get Battle World. And if you've been playing for a while, it's just going to be a pretty much auto fest. Does this change anything for you, what you're doing to prep for Battle World? Or are you doing anything to prep for Battle World right now?
Yeah, I absolutely do not think people need to prep for Battle World. This right here will give you an idea of what you're going to need and not need based on everyone getting pushed into the most basic difficulties. So that'll get us informed with the mechanics and where there are deficiencies and what kind of organization that's going to be required from leadership. I mean, I think it's a good idea to be aware of what Battle World's going to be like, but upgrading any characters today, I think, would be a mistake.
I agree, and I think and that kind of changed for me. I was trying to prep some characters when I thought it was a good difficulty 4. Now that I know it's not going to be, it's going to be at least 4 weeks until we get difficulty 4, or at least 3 weeks till we get difficulty 4, which may still be pretty easy. I'm not doing any prep right now for these characters. Now we did get some kind of calendar here. So November 3rd, this Sunday is when we're going to first see Battle World in the game. You're going to have the first week. There's going to be no leaderboard. You're going to get some rewards, but no leaderboards. And then you're going to have first strike starting the week after November 10th. You're going to have it's going to have the week, I guess a leaderboard or something for 3 weeks. And then the first official season, December 1st, is going to run for 4 weeks. Second season is going to run December 29th for 4 weeks. I initially thought, wait, that seems a little too quick to get null. Nobody's going to unlock him at that time. mentioned, it's probably the seasons. I think you're right. What do you think of this seasons for this strike pass? We saw some of the rewards yesterday in the Battle World rewards, in the Battle World video, the stream that they did. What do you think of this timing of this? Does this change anything for you, having seasons of this? I mean, Crucible is 2 weeks. This is going to be 4-week seasons. Does this affect anything for you?
Oh, first of all, we have no idea what these rewards are. We only saw like the individual weekly rewards, right? We have no idea what these leaderboards look like.
We saw the store and the weekly rewards.
Yeah, and so everybody is doing some frantic math based off of the weekly rewards and how long it's going to take to unlock null and so on. We have no idea what these leaderboard rewards. I highly suspect there will be null rewards in here if I were to guess. Because then that'd be an incentive for top alliances to not only destroy null at the end, but the number of times that you beat null will matter when it comes to the leaderboards.
Yeah, and the points that you get in like your missions, your special missions, your special ops where you're placing characters, you should have more than enough points to get to the next section, but all those victory points will matter for that leaderboard, and it will matter. Do want to confirm one thing about null though. In the video that was released last week about null, I believe it was like a 310 unlock or something. It is going to be a 180 unlock, so it's not going to be that crazy time that people would unlock them. Back to these missions, though. This was revealed yesterday. We saw some data mines about this, and I guess this is official. Day 1, City, Spider-Verse, Cosmic, Pegasus, or Astral. What do you think of these missions as you played them? Enough characters to just pretty much auto through this until the 4th week, or is there any kind of characters that you're looking for? Maybe not in any standard missions, but I know you mentioned Null had a lot of barrier. Are you building any characters maybe that could take out barrier? Are you working on any of these characters like these X-Men or anything like that right now?
All right, you asked me a couple things and I have 3 answers.
I'm sorry, I ask a bunch of questions at once.
So firstly, this is mostly right here talking about 1 through 5, right? At the first 5 days. And largely, these are going to be characters that people have already upgraded for raids, Cosmic Crucible, or Alliance War. So the question is, what priority is Battleworld going to make when we are considering what characters merit upgrades? So that'll be determined later, but largely outside of Pegasus, all of these are pretty good to upgrade. Now, we saw yesterday in the test footage, Pegasus not performing well in the 5th difficulty on the mission and the elite missions. So I think the most important thing that people can prepare for is their wallets and buying Astral. Astral is the missions are tuned for Astral. The boss, the null boss, is specifically tuned for Astral. I mean, if you look at the basics on all of the Astral teams, it has like an minimizes the damage from the mind control darkness mechanic on Null's boss. And there was one other thing too. I need to explain the way this works. So go up to the top real quick. So like, let's just say go around the mission 1 City Superior 6, right? So I feel like this is a little bit of confusion. I saw confusion yesterday in our chat asking about this. So you get 3 attempts per day, right? Okay. If you go in and it says you get a bonus for Superior 6. If you go in with Superior 6 and let's say you clear 5 of the 6 ways with Superior 6, there is literally no reason to go in anymore. You're not going to get a better score with City. Superior 6 is going to give you the highest score, and that's that. It's almost like the 3 attempts don't mean anything. It doesn't stack. You can't get you clear 1 wave with 1 team, clear 2 waves with the second team, and then if you clear on the last one, you clear 5 waves. Well, you only get 5 points.
Count it does 5.
Yeah, it counts as a 5. And if you take the best team in first, that's that, right? I don't know that you're done. Like if the optimal team for that node only gets so far, I mean, unless you don't have that team upgraded. But I feel like we've been incentivized to upgrade all of these teams, and these are largely teams I would suggest are good in the game, teams. With the exception being Pegasus, right? I would not suggest anybody upgrade Pegasus just from this. I think that's going to be the trap is people are going to start upgrading Pegasus, which is not going to perform anything like Astral.
Well, if we look at the bonus, all the bonus ones are worth upgrading, right? Superior 6, Spider Sighting, Annihilators, Astral. Merch for Money, Cabal, Alpha Flight, Astral. Yeah. They're all worth stuff. So I think if you look at the bonuses, those are needed anyway. And Astral, hopefully, the free-to-play or the rework characters can get you through a little bit. Do you think like Kestrel and some of the rework Astral characters will be able to get through Battle World a little bit until we get the free-to-play release of Astral, or you're just going to be struggling until you get these characters?
Well, we're going to get watered down, difficulty in the first couple of weeks. So largely that's going to be easy to evaluate, what teams are optimal. And, if Kestrel is worth upgrading and you don't have Kestrel upgraded already, I've already started working on Moondragon and Doctor Strange because they're on the Astral team, right? And so, if there's a combination of Pegasus and then the reworked Astral characters that's optimal, would I be upgrading any of the Pegasus team outside of Kestrel? Probably not.
Gotcha. Now you did send me this list before we started recording. This was from, went through most of the roster to see which characters had ability to remove barrier, because that's going to be an important thing for the no boss fight, right?
Right.
So there's a bunch of characters here: Zombie, Scarlet Witch, Odin, Ares, Gladiator, Apocalypse Sus, Cosmic, Ghost Rider, Old Man Logan, and a bunch of other characters. A lot of these characters are really worth upgrading anyway, right? Even if they didn't have that upgrade. So if you do have Zombie, Scarlet Witch unlocked, she's worth upgrading. If you're into War, Odin, Ares is good, Gladiator is good, Apocalypse is good, Sus. Any of these other characters are you working on any of these characters maybe towards the bottom that you maybe stopped upgrading that you would upgrade just for Battle World, or are you just going to stick with these top characters that you're going to upgrade anyway?
Okay, it's absolutely not going to upgrade any of those characters.
None of them.
Well, please understand, like if you have Odin, you have not upgraded Odin, upgrade Odin, not for Battle World, but just upgrade him, right? I feel like the characters that need to be upgraded, we've already been incentivized to upgrade through other game modes. Like, I don't know how much Battle World is going to impact, like, you personally, when you look at a character and you're thinking, and everybody has a different priority. Maybe you look at Arena first, then Raids, then Cosmic Crucible, and Alliance War. You have an order, right, of what's important to you.
The order you mentioned is exactly the order that I use.
Yeah, we don't know where Battle World is going to line up in that ordering, right? And we also don't know where there's going to be deficiencies. Now, I got to explain why this matters, though, right here. It's a little bit more nuanced. So the way that Null works is you can go in with 3 different teams, and you're going to want to do as much damage as possible, right? And obviously Astral, and then all of this. Yeah, Astral is going to be doing it because it's tuned for that. And then, of course, the usual suspects of, the Mephistos and the Odins and the top tier teams are going to do the most damage.
Yeah.
Where there's going to be value in this is knowing the way that Null works. Null has, on difficulty 5, based on of the test footage, 1.2 billion damage. And the idea is that you want to knock down 1.2 billion damage amongst your alliance, and it's going to be based on the difficulty. You said
damage.
Right?
Are you saying health or damage?
Health.
Okay.
Well,
health.
Let me talk, because he doesn't heal, but he has health. We're going to talk about the way the barrier matters here in a second. The barrier is a big problem, right? Because the barrier could be 12 million barrier before you do 1 damage of health.
Gotcha.
See why this matters?
You might not even get any damage on Null because you can't even get through the barrier. Yeah, that could be a problem.
So like when you go into battle, so it's going to be mostly about not what characters to upgrade. It's going to be know how to play the match. If you're going into a match and he's sitting at 12 million barrier, do you really want to ultimate with Super Scroll? No, you do not. You want to use the basic.
Yeah.
That's where this is going to matter.
I guess a better question for you, more understanding these characters' kits instead of upgrading them, because we probably already have them upgraded.
Yes.
Go back, memorize their passives, their ultimates, specials, basics. That's the prep, not upgrading characters.
So there's 2 mechanics that are going to matter initially on understanding Null. Is like each player is going to have to determine what the optimal 3 teams. Okay, this team I'm going to use Astral. This team is going to be, a soup team of all of the mythics, and maybe over here we'll do something else, right? We're going to have 3 teams, right? Everybody's going to have 3 teams, and we're going to do as much damage as possible. In the footage, it showed him doing 20%. Well, that means only 5 people would have to do that to get the max 10 shards on difficulty 5. So here's a couple things. The null boss has a maximum amount of health damage that he can take per turn. And this is an anti-Mephisto basic at the start of battle. This is an super basic from Apocalypse. So like Apocalypse does that super basic that does 60% max health. No, it's going to cap out at 4 million. It only will do 4 million damage. Like when you go into battle on the very beginning, Mephisto has that like before turn 1.
That basic, the one that either removes half health.
Yes, the basic removing half health. No, it does not do 6 billion damage. It does 4 million, right? He has 12 billion damage. So getting through barrier is going to matter a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then I do think that these max health damage like Apocalypse, super basic, or Mephisto super, I mean, that's like almost like 1% damage from what I saw in the footage. So, if you can go in and, just go into battle with Mephisto, go into battle with Apocalypse, get the super basic off or the pre-basic on Mephisto. And if, a good percentage of your alliance just does that, then you'll get through the 100%, right? I mean, if you have 3 attacks a day and you get 3% by 24 is almost 75%, then you need some other people to pick it up. So, I mean, that's going to be the idea. But, if you're just hitting into barrier, then you're not doing any damage. So pull up that list that you're going to want to use, because they explicitly said in the live stream yesterday, Matt Sheets explicitly said in the live stream that characters that have removed barrier, they're able to remove all of it.
Okay.
And if there's 12 million barrier on there, that is monstrous, right? That is absolutely monstrous. It's a lot because you have to get through the barrier to start doing damage.
All right, so that makes a lot of sense, and I think that is what the prep is. Know the characters, know especially these characters that you're going to use. Maybe not build them, especially the first few weeks, because you may not need to build them at all. You may just get through killing Null multiple times, but know these characters' kit, know how the barrier works, know all their passives and all that stuff, because these characters will matter. We also got a little bit of the rewards yesterday as well. We got a new store that looks like it's coming. The BattleWorld store have some character shards in there, have some purple gear in there. Looks pretty good. What do you think of the rewards for BattleWorld as you saw it? There was a store in the game that said it wasn't finalized. Is this what you'd expect from a BattleWorld store as far as the contents of it?
The only question I got is this was what they meant by farmability of annihilators? Is that what they meant by this? Is this their farmability? Ooh. And if that's the case, and they explicitly said that Captain Britain was not going to be in here. So I was to me, this was a negative to see this. That's great that we can get Thanos in-game and gore, but is this in lieu of Thanos in-game getting a node or being available in the raid store? I believe so.
All right. Well, this sometimes a node, sometimes in a store you're getting shards way faster than the node, right? Because if let's say you had the currency, I don't know how much currency we're going to get. This may be a high amount, this may be a low amount, but let's say you get the currency. You can potentially get 15 shards of endgame Thanos a day. Right. Whereas if you're farming him, maybe a few. So I don't think this is much of a negative as far as farmability.
Right. I mean, more access to shards is good, right? I mean, but is this going to be instead of what we were expecting them to do? Or is this going to be on top of what we were expecting them to do is my question, I suppose.
I hope it's on top, because the good thing is we have access to these character shards, right? But if we're limited with their currency, well, you could choose Endgame Thanos or Gore or Hank Pym or one of the other characters that are in there, and that could be a problem. It reminds me of what they did with the Crucible store when it first started. It's like, oh, this is an awesome store. There's all good characters in here, and as it's went by, months went by, it's like, yeah, this is kind of outdated. So that's kind of how this feels right now.
Well, to answer your question, Am I excited to finish Engage Thanos? Yes. Am I excited to get Gore finished? Yes. Am I excited to get Hank Pym finished? Well, he is finished, but yes. I mean, sure, absolutely.
All right. And I like all this stuff. Now, one of the big things that people saw in this preview was the rewards for Null. And one of them was this thing right here, just with the full clears. I think what they said on the stream, you could correct me if I'm wrong, that all levels would get some Null Shards based on how much they cleared in the difficulties. So this was
difficulty 5, and they did not give the numbers on the other difficulties other than it's scaled down. So
okay. Oh, so only full clears, no matter what the difficulty. If you full cleared, you get Null Shards. If you don't full clear it, you'll get other rewards. Is that
so? Well, no, two things. So this is the 6th day, based on the amount of damage you did on the boss, or the amount of damage that was, okay. So first of all, you have to get to the 6th day. So that requires doing what you need to get done on days 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then when you get to the 6th day, you're going to be doing yourself and your alliance a huge disservice if you can't 100%. So selecting the correct difficulty for your alliance will absolutely matter. There's not going to be some happy campers in your alliance if you can 100% kill the boss on difficulty 3, but only do 95% on difficulty 4, because you're not going to get the shards.
Gotcha. And I guess that is kind of the silver lining of this. While it might suck for most alliances, for alliances that are like in between a difficulty, maybe I don't know if I should do difficulty 2 or 3, or should I do difficulty 4 or 5? I guess it's helping you to select what is the difficulty that is right for you in these initial weeks, right?
Yeah.
So make sure that you can full.
You want to do the difficulty that you can full clear the boss. And that's how the leaderboard thing is going to work, is that let's say you're on difficulty 5 and my alliance can full clear it every single time, but then it becomes a competition on how many times we can full clear it. And that's how the leaderboard is going to play out.
Yeah. So that should be fun. Yeah, but I guess that's a good thing that we get Null Shards for everyone. That's a good thing, and increases farmability. One character I'm having a tough time farming because of the event is Zombie Scarlet Witch. This looks very similar to Zombie Juggernaut, and I believe they said that they're trying to make more fun Halloween events. I guess the problem I'm having with this is just like what the problem I had with Zombie Juggernaut. I don't mind spending energy, spending cores to refresh the energy. I don't like refreshing these nodes. There's only 5 of these nodes here, and I'm refreshing these. It doesn't feel good. How are you tackling this event? Are you refreshing nodes, just energy? Are you saying, screw it, I'm going to buy Scarlet Witch, or I don't need Scarlet Witch? How are you tackling this?
In general, this is worse than the way that it was for Zombie Juggernaut last year. And for me, it's a little bit strange, like, to spend cores on this. Like, I know people are spending cores and then they're like, wow, I spent all these cores refreshing these nodes and I have 6 shards, or I have 3 shards. Like, this is, oh man, this is a rough road right here. Is this better than Captain Britain?
Yeah, because you can spend cores. You could spend cores.
I guess.
You couldn't spend cores for Captain Britain. You needed to get Shuri and Pym and all. Yeah, this is slightly better, but like, I remember the stages being like this. Was the reward a lot? Was the orb a lot better than? Was the orb for Zombie Juggernaut a lot better than the orb for Zombie Scarlet Witch? Is that why it was a lot better? Because I remember like the nodes being very stingy like this.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact details, but I remember Zombie Juggernaut being much easier than Scarlet Zombie Witch right now. I mean, this is not a player-friendly release at all. This is definitely, and to a certain extent, all of the zombies, the 3 zombies have been largely Kraken characters. I mean, they're vaulted characters. The difference is, though, is that, like, when Zombie Iron Man came out, we were able to unlock Zombie Iron Man relatively easily.
Yeah,
and
I think he was 4 or 5.
Yeah,
for free.
For free, and he was effective. He's effective at low stars because he's a kit-based character. Zombie Juggernaut was a little bit more punishing because for Zombie Juggernaut to work correctly, he does need the stars to survive that initial wave so that he can build up enough charges so that he can revive. Otherwise, he just exploded, especially if Zombie Juggernaut doesn't take that first turn in war and apply like the trauma and the speed down. It's a mess, right? If he gets, and that's why a lot of people take Dormammu with him so that he can survive that. So he's more of a stat-based character. Scarlet Witch Zombie has some elements of both, right? I think the main thing that Scarlet Witch does is that she goes earlier in the match. She applies bleeds earlier in the match that gets that zombie Iron Man's passive running. And more importantly than that, she gives safeguard to the team. So that is a big deal. So I feel like she's not, she's somewhat of a kit-based character to a certain degree. I mean, for me, unlocking her and being able to apply the safeguard and getting some bleeds started, so then at least maybe I'll have some bleeds to spread if Hela gets to go. What's really, really garbage about this is what they're doing with the red stars and the dark. They had, you could, and the offers are horrible. They're just horrible, right? $50.
I don't know what the offers
horrible. So they buried. So first of all, there is no red stars on it. There's a way of purchasing in one of the offers the 4 red. And there's no access to red stars right now. It's dark promotion credits, and they didn't say when. And then
there's here. I thought it was from here. Here.
Yeah, I mean, so you got to. There you go.
Undying at 4, undying at 7.
Yeah, there you go. That's one way of doing it right there. Get them to 4. Basically, you're not going to get reds unless you go to 4.
I thought it was 3.
No, you're not going to get
3. And I was like, you just need to have her unlocked. Yeah, this is not good. I misread this. I misread that.
If you don't get Scarlet Witch Zombie to 4 yellow, you're not getting the red stars until whenever. I don't know what it is. So you wail harder and make sure you get her to 4 if you want reds. And so I feel like I threw some money away, and that's because I didn't do the research. I had 2 yellow for $50 and no access to reds unless I spent more to get her to 4 stars. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I thought it was structured differently.
Yeah, and so for me, I mean, they've been kind of setting us up for this, with the, calling them epic or vaulted characters. And, it is a premium team, I guess, in that sense. And they do very well inside of war, and their viability in Crucible is still yet to be determined.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let's talk about this orb, because I do want to come back to their viability. I think this is why it feels worse than the Zombie Juggernaut. 55% chance of getting 1 shard. I've gotten that a few times. I've gotten a 16 drop as well. But it's a little disappointing. I'm like, it's a gold. 16. I don't have the unlock. Whereas some of the other previous ones, Man Thing, Blade, it was 100 shard unlock. Do you think the orb is the problem, or the structure of the event, or the release? What is the problem with this release of Scarlet Witch? Just everything about it, or the orb in particular, or what is the main reasons for the backlash?
Well, first of all, to me, how good the orb or isn't only matters based on the number of orbs you get. So it's the combination of those two that matters, right? Yeah. And they've done the math. And they're saying on average, for free, you're only going to get X amount of shards, and they've set that number very low. So that is the problem. What the orbs are in particular doesn't matter, because what we're talking about is 1 times 20 is 20 versus 4 times 5 is 20. The problem is the 20 number. It should be 100.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. I like the other orbs better when that gold drop was actually getting the character unlocked. It felt a lot better. Let's talk about the actual team, though. This Undying team. You said they're very good in war. Obviously, they're going to be very good in war. Have you tried them in Cosmic Crucible? I did see them on attacking one of my teams in Cosmic Crucible, and they beat it. It was more about Odin, though, than the rest of the Undying characters. What is your experience this week? Have you seen these teams? Have you used these teams? What are you?
I've only used this team in war, and it was fine.
Okay. And what kind of punch ups were you able to use with this team? Even with a 2-star Scarlet Witch.
I went up against their hard counter, so it was not the right way to use them. I went up against Out of Time, which nothing gets applied, no bleeds, nothing happens until Cosmic Gross Rider takes a turn. And then after all that stuff happens, they end up having, safeguard and immunity the whole time. And so it was not a good example of how this team is supposed to work. The team is supposed to go up against a team that is not 1,000,000,000% resistance or safeguard and immunity. You definitely want to use this team in a different place. I just went up against the absolute worst possible.
Have you tested them on a test server?
Oh yeah, they're fine. They're great.
I heard they beat Mephisto teams, things like that.
I was not able to do that myself. No.
Okay. All right, so good team. Maybe not a one-stop. It's one team solves all type of problem solution, but good team.
Yeah, I mean it's an A-tier team. I mean like Mercs for Money is a great team in War on offense. I mean to me it felt the most similar to something like that as far as power levels.
Gotcha. All right, now let's talk about this candy store because it was supposed to be ending. It did get extended. Currently, as we're recording this, 18 days left. I'm not sure if they just extended that because we have more candy events coming. The Datamines does show a turkey store coming for next month-long milestone events, so we could get possibly 2 stores in this. But the other question I wanted to ask you is, let's start with the candy store. The best purchases. What are some of the best purchases you've made in the candy store, and what do you recommend no one buying?
So the candy store, as far as looking for Captain Britain, has been insanely disappointing, rarely shows up. And I think a lot of people have measured the value of the candy store solely by acquiring Captain Britain, which is fair if that's the only reason why you're doing it. I have found this to be a way of getting red gear and all of those awakened abilities. Now, I'm also finding that now that I've already finished all the awakened abilities that are there in the top right-hand corner, I'm not finding this store to be as fruitful as it was when I was getting those awakened abilities.
I agree. When the store first started, I didn't have Hank Pym. I was able to get Hank Pym up to 7 stars with this. Same thing with Black Panther Shuri. And I didn't have all the awakened abilities. There is one awakened ability, though, that I did buy 7 times. I haven't seen it in a couple weeks. And I did ask the devs for confirmation. They did say it's still there. Have you seen this basic ability for Blade? Because I got an offer. I got 2 weeks of offers. So that's 100 shards or 100 awakened abilities here. But I have 170, which means I've seen it 7 other times in the store, but I don't recall seeing this in like 2 weeks. Where's your Blade Awaken ability?
I finished this off and I haven't been paying attention. Yeah.
Okay. I just haven't seen it, but I think the store is great, like you said, for this Crimson gear. And
I was refreshing the 50s and I've given up on that. It's not, I mean, first of all, the Oath diamond fragments are not good. I mean, once you get like 1 or 2 diamonds on Oath, I don't really see the point of them after that. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to do with this store.
It's a spend candy. That's the only point. Just spend candy. If you want to spend candy, get those milestones quicker, that's what the orb is for. That's the only thing.
I don't hate this. It's just that the value of this store has gone down dramatically. I'm not really getting any Captain Britain, and like you said, you finished off Hank and Shuri, and then the Awakened abilities. But once that's done, the store doesn't do much.
Yeah, and then once in a while, there's like some Crimson stuff I want, but
so
most of the
random.
time, it's stuff that I don't need. Yeah.
Yeah, if there was twice as many Crimson gear slots, or 3 times as many, where I actually had an assortment, and I could actually get to the pieces I want. It's just they're so infrequently there that this is just a refresh fest, if you will.
It's a sink of 300 cores per day.
450.
Or 450. It's 2. You do 2 50s and then it goes to the hundreds. It's not 3 like the other stores. It's only 2. It's only 2. I got mistaken as well. I thought it was 3 at one point, but it's only 2.
Okay.
Now the other thing I did want to ask, I was thinking, all right, they're going to extend the candy store for a while. You know, this is just so we could buy in case we have an extra candy, we could spend it. But when I look at something that's rewarding candy, such as if you scroll down here, this Blade event here, we go into Blade, you see that we're getting candy here. That is lasting 27 more days. The store is only 18 more days. Do you think when the next month-long milestone goes live with the Datamines about a turkey store, this candy is going to go away and maybe be replaced by turkeys? What do you think is going to happen with this? Because the timing right now does not match for the Blade event, the rest of the Night Stalkers event, and the ending of the candy store.
You're asking the wrong question. The question is, does Scopely know what they're doing?
It's a two-part question. Do you think they realize what they've done? And will they fix it, I guess?
Yeah, do you think they know what's going to happen? I hope so, but I'm not confident that they know what's going to happen with this, so we'll have to find out.
All right, so since Scopely may not know, let me know what you think is coming in this. And then we'll talk about the turkey store in a little bit. But let's talk about Captain Britain, because Captain Britain is returning. We do see him in the candy store sometimes, very, very rarely. But they talk about this Illuminati Super Showcase that is coming up. Now, the first time it happened, there was some red stars for Captain Britain there. I'm thinking they're not going to be there this time, but I'm still not buying any red stars for Captain Britain. Are you holding off for your Captain Britain just in case there are some red stars for this? Or are you holding off your Captain Britain red stars just in case there's some red stars in this?
So I have a 4/4 Captain Britain, and red stars only matter if you got yellow stars. Okay, yeah, I mean, I did buy the 4. You know, I already had 3, and when I went to 4, I went and bought the 4. But you know, I'm not pre-buying, the 4, the 5, 6, or 7s until I have the yellow stars.
Well, I guess I asked this for a selfish reason, because if you look at this, I got a 4-star Captain Britain. I can buy this right now. I don't think I want to buy this right now, just in case. I could always buy it later. I'm thinking I wait. What would you do? I
think waiting is the smart thing to do. I really
agree. I agree. Okay.
So I did not do that myself, but I think it's the right thing to do.
In case you're in a situation like me, I agree. I think that is the way to go. Now, Captain Britain shards. You're going to be able to earn Captain Britain shards in the Super Showcase. Better or worse than the shards we're getting on a daily basis, or potential from the candy store?
I have no expectation that we're going to get anything good out of that based off of my past experience with Scopely.
All right, so you should be happy then if your expectation is 0.
Yeah, it's amazing to have no expectations and still be disappointed. It happens all the time here.
Right. Milestone event. Are your expectations for this 0 as well?
Okay, the only expectation that I feel like of me getting any Captain Britain shards is going to be on the battle passes or whatever the strike passes. That's my only expectation. Right there.
So Illuminati orbs. Maybe you get lucky and get something here, but this. Let me ask your prediction of this.
Yeah, they're going to get.
That's what I want to ask. Your predictions. How many shards for free? How many for paid?
I think it's going to be in line with what we get on the other battle passes and strike passes. So,
what is that? Because I've not been paying attention to that. What is the other pay? Okay. Whatever the other strike passes are, that's probably what we're going to get for Captain Britain. Hopefully, because he is an epic character. So I'm hoping that's what we get.
I'm expecting to get shards there, and that's about it. The rest of it, I will see, right?
Yeah, we'll see. All right, we have a new user interface, and I'm trying to get going off. Now, this is pretty cool, especially for newer players. I don't know how much it affects longer time players, but to see the effects that are on there, you kind of see that, but sometimes it gets confusing because it stacks up and you can't see all the characters, the abilities the characters have, what level they are. You should know where your levels are, but in case the enemies don't have them fully leveled up, this would be good to know. And then the stats for you and your enemies. Have you used this at all, or is this more meant for newer mid-game players that aren't as experienced in the game?
Okay, so this has proved to be useful in situations with in-game Thanos dumping out ability energy all over the place to kind of make a better prediction on the way that the battle is going. Yeah, because it's really hard to see where the ability energy goes if you're playing on 3x, and if you're playing against a game Thanos, it's also a thing there. I think it's more going to be used in like dark dimensions, right? Like if you're let's say you have an ability block available and you're debating putting ability block on this character or whatever character it is, and you can go in and see what if all that character's abilities are on cooldown? Well, then you would choose to ability block somebody else. So I think that's where it's going to be more useful is what you've got on the screen here in Dark Dimension and making better choices, who to stun and ability block.
I wonder if this is going to show some of those weird enemies in Dark Dimension and raids, because there's sometimes that enemies could do ultimate. I wonder how that's going to show up in this combat tool for some enemies in the PvE content that doesn't perform like the normal characters, because
they suggested it was going to be disabled. They suggested it would be disabled on those type of characters.
Well, they said on the characters that you don't own, right? Like minions, if there's a minion or something. But if you do own the characters like an enemy Kestrel, you should get it, right?
No, that's what it means. You're the enemy. Yeah, you don't own that character. That's what they meant by that, I think.
Oh, because it's a weird character. It has some weird stats.
You're not going to see that stuff. Yeah.
So because I own the normal character, I'm not going to see the weird. Okay, that makes sense.
If it's a normal character, it'll show up. If it's not an abnormal character, it will not show up.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't think the abnormal characters counted as well, but yeah, I get good catch on that. I didn't.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Where it's an abnormal? It does.
Yeah, because it's not. It wouldn't be a normal Kestrel, right? It's a Kestrel that does ultimate over and over. I don't own that version. That does make sense now. I thought we would be able to see that, but yeah, the way you explained it, I guess that did make sense. All right, and complete another season of Cosmic Crucible. I did 1 and 2 this week. I did pretty good last week, but what did you see this week? What was your results? Was there any interesting defenses that you saw that gave you trouble? Was there interesting counters that you used or an opponent used against you? What was your thoughts on Crucible this week?
The two things, there's 2 matches that seemed interesting, and then one overall sentiment that seemed to be more important. Not clearing a room seemed to be a theme, and the 2 tricky rooms were the raid room, room 3 and room 6. And I ended up going 3-0, mostly because my opponents dropped an entire room, which is way more punishing than taking 3 attacks to clear it, because the points are night and day. I mean, not clearing a room is like 8,000 points, where dropping an attack is like 400 points, right?
Yeah, there was a room I didn't clear in the first day.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. Yeah, right there, and it was a raid. That was room 5. That's interesting. Mephisto.
This raid team got 0 bonuses and I still couldn't clear it. Because this is the X-Men. This is the X-Men and Masters Evil room. So they got no bonuses and I still couldn't clear this. I don't know what. I did get some bad RNG, but yeah, it's tough. Mephisto, Night Stalkers are a problem. How are you tackling the Updog room? Is that giving you problems? Stage 6?
Well, I mean, yesterday I played against a person that put Mephisto and Super Skrull and Annihilators in room 6, and so that required sacks and then a chunky team of like APOC, Odin, Old Man Logan, a pre-taunting tank, and Kang. I mean, that's like 4 teams wasted
on one team.
Yes.
Jeez.
And to get through that room, So the one thing that I thought was interesting is a lot of people are trying to clear full Orcus teams with new warriors, and that is very much power dependent.
Yeah.
Like it is like, I mean, punch across for sure, but I came across a 5 million Orcus, and guess what? My new warriors is not going to do it, right? New warriors is kind of hit and miss. The other thing too is I've seen quite often in room 5, some sort of extreme plus absorbing man. Sometimes they use Ultron, and Secret Defenders can go through it. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Like you're rolling the dice with Secret Defenders, and they're typically Superior 6, like you show right there, does okay right there. Like that's the correct counter right there. But sometimes you want to use Superior Sinister 6 somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So there's good counters for all the rooms, but the problem is sometimes you need to counter in a different room, and then you got to figure out what to do with that room. And I like this season. I think it's fun. It's Yeah, that's cool.
I like it because I won.
That always makes every season way more fun when you win.
Hey, listen, if I lost, it would be garbage and the rooms are garbage. But because I won, it's the best. And I feel like most people view everything like that, you know, just from their own point of view.
War's not like that for me. Win or lose, I don't like war.
No, there you go.
All right. But Dark Dimension, where are you? I was looking at you last night because we're in the same arena, Shard. I saw you didn't have a big Odin. So where are you right now? How are you progressing through Dark Dimension?
I think I'm in the same spot as you. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, it's a race then. It's a race. Okay, who will get Odin? I'm going to look at you. We're just in the same arena, Shard. All right. Any thoughts on going through this the second time?
Still was garbage. That was everything has been relatively straightforward except for here, global hero. And if you went extreme, right? Well,
not the first one. Not the first run. This is my second run. I think I took like 15 attacks on the first run.
Yeah.
The Illuminati and Shuri, and I didn't have Captain Britain. It was just no synergy with anybody.
So I think the problem with Illuminati is, like, you know, initially it was suggested that Illuminati was great, but those were people that had like diamonds on their Illuminati, and I'm going in there. I
based it on this. If you look at these high attacks, I brought in a very similar team to these. I'm like, my Captain Britain is not big enough.
Yeah, I mean, if basically my three red Captain Britain was useless. So that's the only thing I learned. And, you know, a lot of these people that put up amazing numbers, it was because they had, you know, diamonds on their Captain Britain. So, you know, I think it was hard.
I realized that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, probably all things being equal, maybe Illuminati is better than Extreme, but the reality is that people have their Extreme upgraded way more.
I guess the question is it worth putting that purple stuff on them? Because you probably had them upgraded, ready for the raids, maybe what they do in Cosmic Crucible. Is it worth putting the purple on them just for Odin when Illuminati looks to be the team going forward, right? We already have the Orcus raids. Whenever we get the next raid, they're probably going to be phased out. So yes, they're great in Dark Dimension 8. Should you still build them? Should you still bring them, even if they're great? Should you go after? Because those milestones for Odin are gone. There's no rush anymore.
Right. And so this is the classic Dark Dimension question. Do you do quality of characters in other game modes, or do you use and pick the characters that are the best for Dark Dimension? And generally the first answer is correct.
Yes.
And that's what I did. But it took me a lot more to get through the global. A lot more. Like, I could have done Extreme and been through it and done already, but after Odin's done, I'm back to a place where would I rather have Illuminati purpled or Extreme purpled, and I take Illuminati purpled all day long.
I agree with that. Use the one that's going to be after Dark Dimension, because once you're done with Dark Dimension, you're done. You're going to be after Dark Dimension for a long time.
Yeah. This is the same question asked in every single Dark Dimension. Every single Dark Dimension, it's the same question.
Yeah, so it's always balancing those two. Let me add one more. The cheap characters. So it's characters like Stitcher. I didn't want to bring him into Dark Dimension 7, 6, or 5. I brought him to all those just because he was cheap. I wanted to get a few more. I just wanted to get in. So I guess that's the balance that you got to make with Dark Dimension. All right,
quality. My opinion from playing this game and doing the wrong thing all the time is to lean towards quality. And I chose Illuminati over Extreme, even if it was more challenging to get through it.
Yeah, that's what I did for my first one. Now, I do want to have a quick PSA. There are some things that are expiring. The Diamond Dawn orbs, we got a notice that they are expiring. So if you go all the way down to your orbs at the bottom, it's this one right here. All the way at the bottom, you see your Diamond Dawn orbs. If you have any of these, I don't think there's going to be any way to get me my extra 700 of these fragments. But if you have any of these, open them. They're going away. The other thing that's going away is some of these events and these Orcus events that use these ciphers, right? These ciphers, 4 more days. So I wouldn't spend it now. I would spend it like on the last day, but realize that these are going away. And if you have some extra ciphers, you're not gonna be able to do anything with it.
If you've got one of these Orcus members on the threshold of
this is what you spend it on, right?
And you know, on the threshold of going up another star, maybe you hold on it, right? Because you want to get the first, you know, the rewards for the next level. So like if one of your like if you're about ready to go from a 3 to a 4 or 4 to a 5 on any one of those new Orcus members, maybe save a couple. But I looked at mine this morning and I wasn't close, or I already had got to the max level, so I flushed all of them today.
I'm gonna wait till the last day. Hopefully I get one of those 100 jackpots and I can get to the next level. I'm just gonna wait, but just remember, after 4 days and 2 hours as of us recording this, you're gonna be able to do nothing with it. So I did want to make that
I would
PSA.
Forget, but you're right. You are right. It's better to wait till the last day for the jackpot.
It might be better to do it like you do, so you don't waste it, right? Because sometimes I'm gonna put it the last minute and forget and waste this stuff.
I always forget. Oh my God, yeah.
I forget sometimes too. So either way, just I want to make you aware that it's going away, guys. Don't let either of those go to waste. Let's move forward with some data mines, and these data mines are related to next month-long milestone events. So I know you haven't heard these before we started recording, so let me read these. Cosmic Awakening, earn marvelous rewards through November. And of course, these are data mines. These are something to change. There may be no turkey store coming, but at least according to the data mines, there should be a turkey store. So report says month-long milestone event by collecting the following items from the daily free claims. So the big ticket items: Cosmic Elixir, Astral Armor, Nebula Cloak, Lunar Scepter, and Cosmic Key, and then turkeys. So earn turkeys from Alliance Gifts, Showcases, Milestones, and Battle Pass. Get turkeys from the following, get turkeys and the following meta items from the milestones. The Astral Energy is come from an event called Astral Voyage, Nebula Cloak from Nebula Trials, Lunar Spectre from Lunar Rebirth, and Cosmic Keys from Galactic Awakening. And what they also mentioned in this Astral Voyage here, for that's the first event in it. Spend campaign energy, earn voyage fragments, earn using Undying Team in War, complete Stellar Conquest milestone, and free web claim. So this should be next week's events. But what they mentioned down here, Stellar Conquest web milestone, spend turkey in the turkey store. So if this goes live like this, there should be another store that we need to collect some stuff. I like these stores. We've had that purple gear store. We've had the candy store right now. And if these data mines are correct, another turkey store. What do you think of all these stores in the game?
Well, two things, like a lot of that doesn't mean anything, I'd say, but there are two things that are of interest to me in that. Is one, the stores, and generally I like the stores. I've always liked the stores. I think it's great, very player friendly. Two, spending campaign energy. Are you a campaign energy hoarder? Do you hoard ISO or campaign energy?
I wait till there's an announcement of an event, and if there's going to be a leaderboard, I'll start hoarding. If there's no leaderboard, I'm not going to start to hoard. That's how I've done it. What do you do? How do you select if you're going to hoard energy or not?
All right, so I have a very niche, is that the right word, niche, way of doing it, and I don't think that this should be done by most players. Like, I don't feel like people should be hoarding anything if it is negatively impacting their roster from moving forwards. I am not in that situation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like for me, okay, so
this is what you do, not a recommendation.
No, this is what I do. And you do whatever you want to do. I think generally this is more of a very late game hoarder strategy. And so I unless there's an event running, I spend 50s and I hoard 100% of my campaign energy, all of it. And then on ISO 8, I buy the 50s, all of them, and then I spend 400 energy.
Okay. With these, we don't have an event going on with ISO. I probably should spend this because it does top out and you get nothing for it. But normally I'm not spending my 50s or anything. Once in a while, I'll spend these free claims with this, but I normally am not spending extra energy because I don't know what to buy. There's no character shards I need. I don't really farm gear in this. I'm just farming gold orbs and training orbs. That's what I'm doing with this energy, and I don't even know what to farm with this stuff. So
I'm spending
both
50s.
Of these are just
I don't do incursion. I only do ISO and campaign. And so I've been, like right now, if you look at my account, I've got 12,000 campaign energy and 2,000 or 3,000
so you're even
ISO
missing out on
energy.
these daily objectives.
No, that I'm doing it. So I'm doing it in a way where the only daily objective I'm missing is spending the 600 campaign energy, and I have no problem clearing the strike pass because I'm doing the ISO one, and you have to spend 10. So you have to spend 10 for one objective, and then the other one is spending 400 ISO. So I satisfy those, and then when I'm in a campaign spending event, like when that one turns on, then I stop spending any of my ISO, and then I just hoard more ISO.
Gotcha.
So that way I finish the pass. I always finish the pass is the question.
That sounds pretty reasonable for endgame players, not just yourself. I was considering doing that for a while. It's just, I know for the events it's better. It just feels bad having, what is it, 200 energy go to waste every day. And I know it's not very efficient for these events, but that part feels bad. So I do that like a weekend in prep, but I don't do that for all the time.
Yeah, I don't recommend it for most players. I think what I just said is not the way to do it. I mean, and then there's a camp of people that just would rather hoard all the cores and do that, which is fine too. I think that's and not spend the 50s, right? That's a strategy also.
Well, I don't think it's a right or wrong. It's just what is important to you, right? These events. Right. Or the energy every day, and you got to prioritize with what is important to you.
Yeah, and then also when it comes time right here to flush on the event, what am I getting? Or so pull up that Datamines.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Like what am I getting? Do I even want those things? And then maybe I don't. Yeah, maybe I don't.
That's why I wait till the leaderboards before I start to.
Yeah, there was some critical leaderboards where people that were min-maxing their spend on campaign energy and hoarding that allowed people to get Odin a lot faster than me. Yeah. And that's because I was not implementing this at the time. That's where it's tough. So choose the energy or the milestones. What is more important to you? And continuing with the data mines, it looks like a couple other pieces. New tag in the game, the Spirit of Vengeance. That's going to be for the Quick Rumble Blitz that's starting tomorrow. The Ghost Riders that we need. Next character, I guess, is the Ancient One. So if you're waiting for either Emma Frost or Ancient One, it looks like, at least according to the Datamines, Ancient One and Ares are going to be starting selling offers for that. Does this change anything that you're doing as far as Ares offers or Ancient One being next instead of Emma, or is this just keep going? Emma would be more interesting to me because Emma can be used with Nightcrawler and X-Men. So, I would prefer to have Emma before Ancient One.
That's probably why Ancient One's coming first.
Yeah. Happy Halloween! Look at that.
Happy Halloween back, MobileGamer. I hope you are having a great Halloween. Any other final thoughts on Marvel Strike Force before we get to that trick-or-treating?
No thoughts. My brain is nothing right now.
All right, go feed some trick-or-treaters. Go hand out some candy. Go get some candy. And I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you check out his channel. Awesome stuff. And if you want to see what are the best cards to farm right now, check out the video up there. If you haven't already done so, leave the video a like. It is free for you. And are you ready for a big fist bump, Brother Mobile? All right, there it is. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin, MobileGamer out. Have a great day, guys. Happy Halloween.